a 6-up jackpot of a couple of million, so we will be playing in that. The rest of the card, there's a couple of very good races. It's an interesting time of the season. You get the new ones coming in fresh now that'll run around for the last 5 months of the season, and the form tends to taper off on the exposed runners. So it's a chance where we can find something at a price, and with a bit of luck, might be able to marry them up for a decent result. We go to race 1,000 metres over class 5. Highland Dragon, it's drawn wide. It's got 60 kilos with Mosse. It's probably going to be well in the betting. It's got a good chance in a race like this because there's not a lot of depth in this. We've seen all these all season. They hardly ever win 2 races in a row. Must include it. Young Supreme, it's got the good draw again, 57. It's going to get a run on the rails like it did last time. Probably getting close to a win now. Spicy Shrimp, Gracie Tom, they've drawn well but don't have the early speed to hold up, so they're going to go back, but both will be running on. And that Thief Mega's in here again. It'll be charging home as usual. Not a race we'll be betting in. 2 to beat 4, 10, 5, 11 and 7. We go to race 2. Victory General was a good run last start. It's drawn bad this time. No favours here. I'm going to sort of leaning to a couple of horses that haven't had a run for between 5 and 8 weeks. Capital Case had a trainer change. He took it to the trial, just pulled it up. Don't be surprised to see it charging home at a bit of a price. Hecko Rider's the interesting one. Goes good fresh. Put in a couple of nice runs. It's drawn well. Should be able to get up on the speed. Hasn't had a run for 8, 9 weeks. I like these sort of horses at this time of the season, and I think this has got a chance at a bit of a price. Peri Peri Saffron, it comes into the same sort of category. Problem with it is it gets a long way back and needs a lot of luck, but if it gets a clear run through, it might have a chance. I've got 6 on top from 4 and 2. Chances to 12, 11, 3 and 9. We go to race 3. Gentilis, Scott Barry at 12. He'll go back. Depends on how far he goes back. There's a lot of speed here with Ocean Roar, Call Me Achiever, all going pretty hard in front. Glory Horsey's there as well. So I think this will probably slot into a reasonable position, and I expect it to be charging home late. Croesus has drawn a marble, and if he can hold up early and take advantage of the barrier, it's going to be right in the finish. Ocean Roar should set the speed from barrier 3. Call Me Achiever will probably come across and sit outside it. Glory Horsey's got a good draw again and should be close up at the finish. And the 11, Nazarcat's Lad. Now, 2 starts ago, he led by 7 lengths and collapsed. Last start from the bad gate, they dragged it back to last and it come charging home late, beating a couple of lengths. Maybe one more chance for it, it'll be a price. But I think 4 is probably hardest to beat from 2, 9, 3, 8, 11 and 1. We go to the opening leg of the 6-up. Not a lot of depth in the race. A couple of these are dirt trackers from Shah Tin and a couple resuming. Bullish Boy, there's no speed in this race. It looks the leader. I don't think there's anything that can take it on. With 48.5 kilos, it's going to definitely give them something to catch. I think it could be an anchor on 1 ticket. Pleasure Games. Now, we knocked this last start and we bet against it, and we got it right. It couldn't run anywhere, but it had 60 kilos and a wide draw and 1800. That's not its go. It's now got 52.5, a good draw, and back to where it wins, 1650 at the Valley. And significant riding change. I like this guy as a jockey. He's very aggressive, and if it can win at the 200, he'll be given it every possible chance, and he's pretty good with the whip. Fun Rider was a good run last start. Got a long way back and was making ground. I wouldn't be surprised to see it run a race. And the only other one I think's got any possible winning chance is the top weight Rainbow Chic. Now, on handicaps, I don't know whether it can be giving these horses between 10 and or 8 and 10 kilos. That's the concern, but I mean, it's definitely a winning chance. but I think 7 is hardest to beat from 4, 8 and 1. We go to race 5, very tough race. Twin Turbo, barrier 2. If he can get it out of the gates and get it up onto speed, we switch to Douglas White here. And he's starting to ride pretty hard and strong again now, so it's not a disadvantage at the moment with him. I think it's hard to beat. Young Talent was a little bit unlucky last start, found a bit of trouble, but it does do that. Scott barrier 10, so that's not going to help. All the Winners is the interesting one for me. It's getting on now in age, but from barrier 1, he's going to get it up onto the speed. Last start, he just worked 3 and 4 wide attacking. No hope doing that. Sunny Pearl must go in. Plain Red Banner, maybe Verdane Panther Run if we're looking to go a bit deep. Although Panther Run, I can't ever recall it winning 2 races in a row, so it's probably had its win for the season. I've got 2 on top from 4, 11, 8 as the main ones, and then perhaps 3, 6 and 12 as possible chances. We go to race 6. Redwood Baby was a good win 2 starts ago. Then last start was closing really quickly from a fair way back. I think it's the one to beat. Barrier 11's not going to be a disadvantage. It's going to go back. Purton, he goes on it. He rode well the other day, so hopefully he'll get this one home. The racing pattern, that's the problem. But they're running on the A course, so that gives them all a fair chance. Bankster's Bonus and Best Show. These are the 2 smokies for me. Best Show had a nice trial. Moss A, barrier 3, so at least can only be 3 wide at worst with a bit of luck. Bankster's Bonus is the one that I think is probably going to be over the odds. Goes well fresh, got good barrier, and he's got enough early toe to get up onto the speed. It won a trial recently. They took it to the Valley, and it was a very, very soft win. Coming back off 7 weeks, I like this type of horse. I think it's got a good chance. I don't think there's a lot of winning chances in the race. Real General's always fairly consistent type horse. It's got to go in as well. 11 to beat, 2, 4, 3 as the main chances. Pot Pat, 7, 13, from a place line. Race 7, Classic Jewelry. We went for this last start. Found all sorts of trouble coming around the corner. He got flushed out early and then he ran up the arse of everything. Then he got chopped in half at the 200, changed course and copped it again. Don't know whether it would have won last start, but it certainly would have run second. It's got a good barrier. Teton goes on it. Must go in. Ryad found trouble last start. They just went back. From barrier 1 with 51 kilos, it must go in. Home with Glory, it's resuming here. It's one of these horses, like I said earlier. Must be wary of horses having their first run at this time of the year for the season. It goes in. Invictus, Smart Ball and Ho in 1. They're probably the 6 horses we'll include in that leg. 3 on top from 12, 10, 9, 11 and 2. We go to race 8. Teton again for me with Shishwan Vigor. Now, it drew bad last start and they dragged it back to last and it came charging home late. It was a good run. It's got barrier 1 and I think they'll go forward. Doesn't look like there's a lot of speed here, so maybe Charity Joy goes to the front and this takes a trail behind it. If that pans out that way, gets it off the fence coming around the corner, it's going to be hard to beat. Multi Victory's got the bad barrier, but it'll come across. So it's had a very soft trial. Give it a chance. Rainbow Fighter was impressive last start, just sat on the speed and peeled out at the 300 and just had them covered. It was a soft win. Douglas White, barrier 3, must go in. All Win Boy. Now, it and Meridian Treasure have been given the fresh up. Both go good that way. Both go good at this track. So I think they must go in. But they look the only 5 winning chances for me. 7 on top from 1, 5, 12 and 10. We go to the last race. Golden Harvest. Very, very smart horse this. The only concern, of course, is the racing pattern because it's a back marker. but its trial was super impressive. Its track work has been good since, and I think this is the one to beat. It won first up last time, and its win at Happy Valley when it won in May last year, beat Multi Express, was super impressive. It just killed. As I say, the only concern for me is that how far back he gets. But he has been up on the speed before, not too far off them, within 3 or 4 lengths. If he does that, he'll be hard to beat. Happy Era looks the hardest to beat. They look the main two in the last race. They're the two quality horses. Behind them, Guru's Dream's coming off a big gap. No trial. Track work's been okay, but nothing flash. Probably have to include it. Elzonder, I think this has finally dropped into a race that it could probably win. We'll include it. And Great Spirit. Interesting, this horse was running around here before, and then they went to Sha Tin, started running it on the dirt, and it handles that really well. So I think I'd be prepared to put it in as a good chance in the last as well. I've got 8 clearly on top from 7, and then a good gap to 3, 12, and then maybe the 4 and the 9. But I think the last leg looks a 2 out of 8 and 7. The value, well, the 2 at a price that we'll probably include on the secondary ticket are probably going to be 3 and 12. Good luck to everyone for tomorrow. I'll be having a look at the Auckland Cup meeting, so I'll do a preview for that. We may get involved there with the Autumn Attack Group. There's a terminating 6 up there. I don't know, 130,000 jackpot or something. So we, depending on the races and whether anything qualifies, we'll have a look. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and good luck if you're playing tomorrow.